What's up, everybody? We're talking about the single-family home market in Miami-Dade in this video today. And let me just tell you guys, it is going buck wild. So I can't wait to share all this data with you guys direct from the MLS. Don't go anywhere. Stay where you're at because we're talking about it all in this video right here. Jake Fletcher with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent, and all my contact info is in the description down below if you would like the assistance of an expert real estate agent in the area. If you don't want the assistance of an expert, call somebody else, because I'm an expert. So we're going to talk about all this data. We're looking at it straight from the MLS. This is the raw data for the month of May, the complete whole picture. We're breaking it down. I'm going to interpret it, and we're going to talk about it. So let's not waste any more time with the formalities, and let's jump into this first graph here. So we're looking at the regular market of single-family homes, which is everything under $1.5 million and below. Okay, that represents 90% of the sales that occur in Miami-Dade. Reason that we do this is because there's like $40 million, $50 million homes that sell in Miami, and to include those with the rest of the market throws the data off. So on this channel, we give you guys an accurate representation of what's happening in the market. I don't know, so sue me, you know what I mean? Everybody else, people using average sale prices and, including, all the data all in together. I like to compartmentalize it to give you guys the real understanding of what's happening in the market. So first graph here is median sale price on the green line there versus days on market in the blue line. And as you can see, that green line is crazy. It's going to the moon. It's Bitcoin in 2018 or whatever it was. It's crazy. It's. I mean, look at it. It's wild, and it's a trend as well because we see that it's been going straight up since January. Okay, and you need 3 months of data in order to be a trend, and this is 5 full months of data, so we can definitively say that the so-called bottom of the market for single-family homes was in January in terms of in the last year or so. So this is something that is for all the people who are waiting for the market to crash. Take a look at this green line and tell me where along there were you waiting for it to crash? Because if you spent any time in the last 4 years waiting and hoping for that to crash, well, you went from about $350,000 median sale price to now almost double that, okay? So, stop waiting. Time in the market always beats timing the market, okay? I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. So what we see as far as data here, median sale price for regular market single-family homes, literally going to the moon, like we said, and this really is due to high demand and extremely low supply. So month over month, median prices went from $565,000 in April to $584,500 in May for a 3.5% increase in just 1 month. Sometimes you see that type of increase in a year in a lot of markets. We saw that in 1 month, okay? So we've seen 4 months in a row, like I said, increase since January. And, that's basically, median sale prices went from 500,000 right here. They were dead on 500,000 in January up to now 565, okay? So that means that since the beginning of this year, single family homes in the regular market under $1.5 million have increased 16.9%, okay? I'm gonna say that again. Since the beginning of this year, since January, single family homes, regular market, increased 16.9%. That is absolutely buck wild, insanity, craziness, balls to the walls, nuts, okay? So that's as much as you would see in 2 years of increases, okay? Before the COVID era, and now we see that in 4 months basically. So anyone who's waiting for the crash to happen, please don't hold your breath because we're human beings and we need oxygen. Okay. Now I will say, however, year over year we only saw an increase of 47,500 or an 8.8% increase. Okay. So the bottom of the market, like we said, was in January, and then since then it's just been straight to the moon. But if we do that year over year, we see that actually it kind of dipped down, right? Like I was saying, the bottom of the market, quote unquote, was in January. That's what it means, right? We did see a little bit of a decrease from the end of 2022 to the beginning of 2023. As soon as 2023 happened, it was off to the races. So keep that in mind, guys. Days on market decreased by 4 days on market month over month. We're looking at the blue line now, from 65 days in April to 61 days in May. So not crazy, but definitely a trend that we saw in the condo market as well, where it appears that the market is heating up. We've now seen that for more than 3 months in a row. So we can pretty much see that, yes, this is a trend. It's not just a one-off situation. Year over year, though, we actually have an upturn of 27 days, or a 79.4% increase in the days on market. So if you look at like the May over here compared to this May, almost 80% increase in days on market. So the market is speeding up in terms of like since the beginning of this year, but it's not nearly as fast as it was last year during May of 2022, okay? So let's go on, skip on over to the next graph here. Skip to our Lou. Over to the next graph, and the number of regular market single family home sales in our green line here, and then we're looking at the blue line is closed price to original price ratio. In case you don't know what that is, that basically just means it's the ratio between what a home was listed at versus what it actually sold at. So if it was listed at $100,000 and it sold for $95,000, that's a 95% closed price to original price ratio. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, all my contact info is in the description down below, and I'll explain it to you personally over the phone. So the number of regular market single family home sales was basically flat month over month. So from April to May, it clocked in from 931 sales to 936 respectively. So, not a lot more. I mean, it's a little bit more, but it's basically flat for all intents and purposes. Margin of error would more than compensate for the difference. So 936 sales is actually 154 less year over year from last May, or 14.1%. So if you go on over here to this last May, you see that was 154 more sales than what we had in this past May, okay? So definitely a decrease there. That's largely due to the, lack of inventory, because people stop buying houses when there's no houses for sale, Now, closed price to original price ratio continuing to skyrocket up. I mean, look at that. If that was a ski slope, you would just perish, right? Like a skateboard, half pipe, whatever. It's too steep. It's too much of an angle. You would just crash and burn. Now, the closed price to original price ratio for the 4th month in a row, as we see, has increased. And, we saw the same trend with condos in May, where after the holidays, the market just like off to the races, picked back up in terms of competitiveness, okay? Which means that it's making it harder to get a quote-unquote deal, all right? So the closed price to original price ratio for May 2023 was 97.6%. But that is still definitely way better for buyers, at least, than it was in May of 2022 when it was 100% or greater, okay? Which was also the same thing that we saw in condos, okay? Now, let's go over here to the next one. We're going to look at supply next. So green line there is active number of listings, aka supply. Blue line is the number of new listings, aka the reason why I stay awake at night crying myself to sleep because there's no new listings coming on the market. So supply dwindled again for the 4th month in a row. You can see here, that is a ski slope that you could survive on in terms of ski slopes. I don't know why we're talking about ski slopes. I'm talking about it, whatever. Anyway, so it dwindled for the 4th month in a row down to 2,619 active units for sale in that regular market of single family homes, which is a 74 unit decrease from 2,693 in April, okay? That's a 2.7% decrease in terms of percentages, okay? So that's that little bottoming out of the slope there, right? So, that's what's happening. We had a sharper decrease for the very beginning. Looks like maybe it's starting to level off. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. Make sure you hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you can find out what the the end of the story is there, or well, at least Act 2, right? Now, year over year, we saw a decrease as well of 262 units, or 9.1% from last May. So that's, if you look over here, right, that's 9.1% less over here than it was over here. So, not my favorite. Looking at the blue line there, the new listings, we actually had, on the other hand, a little bit of good news for new listings, which is great. This past month, they came in at 1,235, which is 152 units more than April's 1,083, okay? So that's a 14% increase in new listings. So I can't tell you how happy that makes me to know that, you know, month over month at least, we saw more new listings of single family homes. I really, 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 really hope that that trend continues because as long as we continue to have less new listings coming on the market, like demand is not going anywhere. People want to live here. People are going to keep moving here. It might slow down. It might wane. It might, you know, oscillate back and forth, but demand is going to remain more or less consistent. So as long as we have a low inventory environment, prices are just going to continue to go up. So we need more listings to come on the market in order for prices to stabilize and in order for that graph with the median sale price going to the moon to stop going to the moon, okay? So that's kind of the story there. You know, it's great to see that increase, but again, it's not 3 months in a row, so it's not a trend yet. It's just a data point. So it's cool, but, you know, we're going to keep our eyes on it. And again, make sure you hit subscribe. So, you know, another like thought that I had about this though is that it'd be great to get like, we're kind of stuck in this like low thousands, you know, like between 1,000 to 1,300 listings, new listings rather. And it'd really be great to get back up into the upper thousands or even back into the 2,000s range where we were at pre-pandemic in this market. So that would be great. That's my goal. I'm trying to like manifest it with my meditations. We'll see how that goes. You know, can't force people to bring their house to market. But if you're thinking about selling, by all means, all my contact info is in the description down below, and I guarantee you I can get you top dollar for your house. So we'll see what happens. You know, again, let me know if you're thinking about selling because right now is a great time to sell, as you can see, as evidenced by the median sale price graph there. Now, next up, we're going to look at months of inventory. What's months of inventory? Well, months of inventory is if no new properties came on the market, how long would it take to sell the existing supply of inventory? And we see that for regular market single family homes, they actually stayed stable at about 3 months of inventory for the third month in May. Okay, so we had 1 month of 3, second month of 3, third month of 3. So, you know, that's about as strong of a seller's market as you can reasonably get. It looks like the line is going down a little bit, but, you know, in reality, it's like, you know, it's such a close percentage, like 2.88 versus 2.9, you know what I mean? It's like technically down a little bit, but that just goes to show more evidence to the fact that the market's heating up, okay? So what does this mean if you're a buyer? What does it mean if you're a seller? What does it mean if you're an investor? What does it mean if you're Toucan and Sam? Just kidding, Toucan and Sam lives in a tree. If you're a buyer, what this means is that the market's getting more competitive. If something is priced properly, which an expert like myself can tell you the exact market value of a property and tell you what, you know, the price should be. If something's priced properly, or if something is turnkey, meaning it's like HGTV certified, it's going to go quick. You're probably going to have to come in at market value or even potentially a little bit above. Again, working with an expert like myself, we can kind of feel out the listing agent and see what's it going to take to get this deal done. So that's something that's super important. It's super important to have all your ducks in a row to be able to move quickly, be pre-approved, have everything ready to go, be, you know, pretty solid on exactly what you're looking for so that you're not wasting time looking at stuff that you're not like even really realistically going to write an offer on. You know, you want to know what your numbers are going to look like so that like last year, you know, when interest rates were, you know, in the upper 3s, low 4s, for example, you could afford a different price house than what you can afford now. So make sure you know your numbers and make sure you know what type of monthly payment that you're getting yourself into so that you can, you know, fairly judge whether or not that's a reasonable thing to even do. All right. So what does this mean if you're a seller? If you're a seller, you know, it's a great time to sell. You want to make sure that your house is marketed properly though, so that it sells quick. Like I just had a listing that sold, at least rather went under contract in 5 days. Well, what was the average days on market was like 70 days, right? So obviously you can sell things quicker than that average days on market if it's marketed properly, priced properly. You know, that was a turnkey property as well. So, you know, these type of things go quickly. But in general, even if it's not turnkey, if it's marketed well, you have great pictures, photos, videos, drones, all that stuff, utilizing social media, utilizing ad campaigns, retargeting, all these things that, and that's just really scratching the surface level. But there's so many ways that you can make sure your property is properly marketed in order to get the most buyers through the door, get the most amount of written offers for your property, and increase the chances of getting a great offer, essentially. So that's super important for a seller. As well as working with a professional who's going to represent you to the fullest. I can't tell you how many times I've called listing agents on behalf of a buyer and they don't even answer their phone. It's maddening. But I'm not here to, dunk on other people. Although who I will dunk on is people who write their listing descriptions in all caps. Dunk. Don't do it. Anyways, so what does this mean if you're an investor? Same thing as any time to be an investor, you got to look at the numbers and make sure that they make sense. You also want to be looking at what are your objectives? Are you trying to fix and flip? Maybe not the best market for that, as we see that, prices are going through the roof, unless you can get a really good deal on something that's trashed out and you're going to do a full rehab. What if you're going to keep the property for 5 to 10 years or never sell? What is that neighborhood? What's the trajectory of the neighborhood that you're buying in? Is it on the up and up? Is it on the down and down? If that's even a phrase, what's going on there? What's the, what's the average percentage of renters in that area? What's the, average income? What's the trajectory of those things? All these different things you want to look at as an investor, along with a bunch of other stuff as well. And, that's going to inform you as to whether or not this is going to be a good investment. So I work with all of the three people that I just named: buyers, sellers, investors. I don't work with Toucan Sam. That guy, I can never get him to listen. He's always like munching on Fruit Loops. Anyways, so that's the story, guys. That's the story with single family homes right now in Miami-Dade. If you found this video helpful, if you enjoyed it, I don't know, hit subscribe, help me out to grow the channel, bring this to more information to more people, and I'll definitely appreciate it. I'm bringing this to you for free, so hit the like button or share it, drop me a comment, let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. And also down below is all my contact info. Again, if you want to work with the best realtor in Miami, that's me. Reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to help you out. And, I'll see you guys on the next video. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.